BBC Radio Suffolk. From one music producer to another. We love supporting local talent here on BBC Radio Suffolk. And we can now chat to Vekken, who has a new single and video out this weekend. Vekken is a videographer by day turned music producer since the pandemic. Let's chat to them now. Hello, Vekken.
Good morning. How are we?
I'm very well. Now, I know Vekken's not your real name, but because, like, me and you are friends now, can I just call you Vek?
You can call me Vek, call me George, call me whatever you want. I've been called worse.
Okay, so the real name's George.
Yes, absolutely.
It's an interesting name, Vekken. Where did the name come from?
See, everyone asked me this. I actually spent about 3 weeks trying to think of a name, and I was going through all the different words that I could find, and I was looking at names of islands in Scandinavia, and there was one called Sekken with S instead of V, but I thought people would get confused with seconds, so I changed it to Vekken, and that means awake in Norwegian, which is pretty cool.
It is cool, yeah. So, you're a music producer now. This came about during the pandemic. Tell us the story.
Yeah, it's a pretty strange story, really. So by trade, I'm a videographer. I make videos for local estate agents and freelance for different companies. And yeah, I just picked up music production during lockdown, in the first lockdown. Always fascinated me, but I never really had the time or the chance to go and pursue it. So downloaded all the software, gave it a go, made some really horrible tracks, but made some half decent ones. And yeah, today put out a new one. Along with the video, as you mentioned earlier, which was filmed all in Scotland. And it follows up quite nicely from my last single, which was played on James's show and a few other shows on Radio Suffolk, because that was a very Suffolk-based project, whereas this one I tried to branch out a lot more.
You are a videographer by trade. It must have been nice getting out and about filming again, especially over in Scotland.
It was, yeah. Do you know what? I hadn't actually been anywhere apart from the gym when they were open and my dad's garage. That's the only two places that I've been. So to go to Scotland was like the first trip I've had for like 2 years. And I went up there with one of my friends, Kieran, one of my media friends, and we did 2 or 3 days shooting up at 4 o'clock, bed at 1 o'clock for the sunrise, sunset. It was a long day, but yeah, the video's on YouTube and it's worth it, in my opinion.
Your previous track, as you mentioned, was all based in Suffolk. Why did you decide to take it to Scotland? Was it just the beauty of the countryside there?
Yeah, that Scotland is a fascinating place, and it was a bit awkward because I was actually in Scotland at the time when they got knocked out of the Euros. So I was an Englishman and I was sat in the hotel and I could not say anything because there was a lot of angry Scottish people. But yeah,
you'd have been lynched. You'd have been lynched.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't take my England or Ipswich shirt, so I was okay. But yeah, no, I went to Scotland just to branch out, and it was actually in the same area as they filmed Skyfall, the James Bond film. There's a scene towards the end of the film where Bond gets out the car and they're looking down this road, and I was driving down that road in my car, and it looked out of place going through these amazing mountains in my little car. But yeah, it was a really stunning place with the snow-capped mountains and yeah, going through glens, and it was amazing, really.
You must have an interest in what makes music work then, and how all the pieces fit together to make a track, to become a music producer.
Yeah, I've been learning. I've never stopped learning because I'm always new to this scene, and I've just spent the last couple of years, or last year, I started this time last year, just soaking up as much information as possible whilst doing everything else. And yeah, I tried to understand what makes what, and YouTube's my best friend, and I've got some contacts I send it to, and they give me honest, brutal feedback, which I like. I like brutal feedback because that means I can change. I'd much rather someone say, oh, you can change this and that, and rather than say it's great and not really give any feedback. So yeah, I've just been really trying to work hard on making everything sound good, and yeah, it's not absolutely perfect because it's just me, and I haven't got a team of magic writers and producers and mixing engineers to help me, but it's as good as I can do from my parents' front room on my laptop. So. There was
a musician from the noughties called Daniel Bedingfield who did all his tracks from his bedroom and had big top 10 smashes with them. And I know Rick Astley does all his music in his little garage. Technology has made music producing at home possible, hasn't it?
It is, but equally, you still have to have the skills. I remember seeing and having a conversation with my dad, who always says you can just go and make a hit. Where if there was a button you could press to make a big hit, you'd press that button every day. But there's a lot that goes into it, and it's quite boring at times for some people to, especially my parents. When I'm making something, I'm playing the same thing over and over again. They're probably tearing their hair out. So
as someone who makes stuff as opposed to perform stuff, where do you find people to work with?
It's interesting because I actually, the featured artist on my new track, Can't Live, with Beverly Anderson. Beverly is based in Oregon in the US on the West Coast. So she is on the other side of the world, and I'd never met Beverly. I saw her on Instagram and I sent her a message, and I thought, she has an amazing voice, like one of the best singers I think I've ever heard. And she was down to work on the song, so we did some Zoom calls and extra stuff after I'd already had a demo with Brooke Telling that I worked on, who helped me write some stuff. And then I worked with Beverly, and yeah, it was kind of difficult because we were working with like an 8-hour time difference. So she'd be waking up, I'd be kind of finishing, going to bed. But yeah, we got it done over the internet. So which is amazing, really, when you think of the distance between the two parties. And
where do you see this going, George? Would you like? Is there any particular artist you would like to produce, or would you like to produce, kind of find your own star, if you will?
Yeah, I think my earlier stuff was kind of just emulating what other people had done, putting my own twist in it. But now I'm really trying to dial in with all the tracks that I haven't finished yet, and I've got hundreds on my laptop. But I'm trying to find my own sound, my own style, and just make every single track better than the last one. And this one is a big step forward. So I think I would work with anybody. I've got loads of people on my hit list, if you will. There's too many to name, but Beverly was the person that I really wanted to work with the most. And I worked with 2 or 3 other different singers after the demo we had, and it didn't quite work, and something didn't feel right. And then I worked with Beverly, and she sent me like 2 different versions, and I was like, this is it. So I've got a big list, and I'm sure I'll go through that at some point.
You're quite new to the industry still, and I would imagine you have to get a good reputation within the industry to have any longevity. You only have to look at the likes of people like will.i.am, who people want to be produced by. Is this going to be a career for you now?
If I'm in music to make money, I think I'm in the wrong business, because I looked at how much money you can make from streaming is really, really awful. But yeah, I'm just doing it for fun at the time being. I'm just enjoying it and learning as much as I can, and taking it naturally. I'm not expecting to, rocket up the charts, because that's not going to happen. I'm not, expecting anything. I'm just putting it out there, seeing what people like. And I think it's quite good because I can combine my skills in making videos and making things visually look appealing, but also my newfound hobby of making music and fusing something that I'm good at and something that I'm passionate about seems to be the way forward.
Good man. Where can people find you online?
So very simple. All of my social media is at Vekken Music, VEKKEN Music. You can see the video on YouTube, and all the songs are on Spotify, Apple Music. Every place you want to listen to music, I'll be there. We're
going to play your new song in just a moment. It has a strong dance vibe about it. Is that kind of your niche, or are you open to producing any genre of music?
I think electronic dance music in particular is definitely my niche. I just want to make songs that mean something and not just all about, horrible, dirty drops with no meaning. This is like all about, being isolated for the past 18 months, and the video ties in with that, going to like the most remote place that I could possibly imagine. And that suits quite well with the whole self-isolation theme we've been doing for the past 18 months. So, yeah.
Listen, mate, good luck with it. Me and Vic have got our glow sticks ready, haven't we, Vic? We're going to have a bit of a dance and a boogie to this one.
Yeah, we will.
We had a little listen, and it's something certainly to tap your feet to. It's called Can't Live, featuring Vekken and Beverly Anderson. Should we play it?
Yes.
Yay. Vekken, thanks, mate.
All this time I've been waiting for you. Emotions rushing in out of the blue. When I'm with you, I feel like somebody new.
The new song from Suffolk music producer Vekken featuring Beverly Anderson. It's called Can't Live. It's good, isn't it?